Today's episode has been brought to you by Schedulicity.
And also by the Conscious Marketing for Yoga Teachers workshop that is happening, if you're listening in real time, September the 9th with Tristan Katz. I am so excited about this. And if you're thinking, oh gosh, it's past September the 9th, 2021, that's okay. There's an on-demand version available for you as well. So if you want to learn how can I market my yoga and how can I align that with my yoga, how can I talk about things that I really care about in this world, this workshop is for you. Tristan is an amazing educator, yoga teacher, and social justice advocate. Also, there are scholarships available for anyone who needs one. All you need to do is fill out the form at the bottom of the website. That's at theconnectedyogateacher.com. Look under trainings and events, and then you will see Conscious Marketing. And at the very bottom of the event page, just let us know what your full name is and what amount is within your budget. So hello and welcome to the Connected Yoga Teacher podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Crow. I use she, her pronouns, and a random fact about me is that I love dandelions. I don't try and get rid of them from my lawn. Did you know that you can eat dandelions in tea, in salad, in dandelion jelly, and that they're the first food for our pollinators? So if you really want to take care of our bees and our butterflies and all of the other pollinators, the dandelion flowers are the very first food for the insects after they come out of hibernation. And unlike most other plants, they have pollen and nectar. Also, okay, so I'm a little bit in love with dandelions, actually. They repair the soil. So next time you see a dandelion, remember that. And the difference between a weed and a plant that we want is all about perspective. They're the helpers. They help to balance the soil. And the cool thing is when the soil gets balanced, they'll disappear. So when I see them, I am super grateful for them. And I even spread the seeds around. Maybe don't tell my neighbors that fun fact. I'm also a mom of three, a yoga teacher, podcaster, and founder of Pelvic Health Professionals. And this podcast was created for you so that each and every week you are connected to the information and inspiration that will support you as you grow your yoga business. And specifically over the last 5 episodes, today being step 5 in our 5-part mini-series, we've been talking about content. How to create effective content, how to create content that is easy on you as you create it and feels good as you put it out into the world. Huge congratulations if you've listened to all of the other 4 steps and done the actions that go with them. And if you haven't yet, they're there for you, and they're there for you when you want to repeat the whole process again. Remember also to make this unique to you. See what fits and what you can improve on. I'd love to hear about your progress and your questions. You can actually leave us a voice message over on our website. If you go to theconnectedyogateacher.com, over on the right-hand side, you'll see a voicemail button. I love to hear your voices. Send me all of your wins, your questions, or post it in the Connected Yoga Teacher Facebook group. So if you know me well, you know that I'm all about the homework or the action step that will bring you to the results. And to recap, here is what we've covered in these 5 podcast episodes. And here's what we're going to cover today. Step 1 was all about when. So we set a content creation time, a specific day and time on our calendar. Step 2 is all about the why. So what do you want to gain with this content, and what's your big why? What's the impact that you want to have out in the world? Step 3 is all about where you are sharing your content. And yes, it's just one platform for now. We're just choosing one each time that we go through this process. Step 4 was how you're going to deliver that content. And I gave you the 4 options, or a combination of 2 of them: video, text, audio, or images. And today is where the magic happens. It's step 5, we cover our plan to share, schedule, and repurpose the content that you create when you have all of the parts of this foundation in place. And if you like to read the notes, they're over for you at theconnectedyogateacher.com/236. Before we dive into step 5 today, let's hear our hot tip of the week from the team over at Schedulicity.
Hello, Connected Yoga Teachers. This is Allison, the Schedulicity Hot Tip of the Week. Using Schedulicity's automated email marketing option is like having a personal assistant who never calls in sick to work. You can save so much time by setting up an automatic thank you message, birthday greetings, time to book reminders, and re-engagement discounts for people you haven't seen in a while. This, along with Schedulicity's standard booking confirmations and appointment reminders, helps you make sure that your clients always know what's happening. Ultimately, this means that you have more time for things that you love and less time spent on repetitive computer work.
Thank you so much, Team Schedulicity. And for those of you who use Schedulicity now, or if you're wanting to check it out, make sure to use the coupon code. The coupon code is CYT, as in Connected Yoga Teacher, the number 2, and months, all spelled out, MONTHS. I'll make sure that we put it in the show notes as well, and that will get you 2 months of free access to Schedulicity. So let's dive into step 5, where we share, schedule, and repurpose our content. A reminder before we get right into this, your yoga and your content that you share are unique. No one can copy or steal it. Let me repeat that again. No one can copy this or steal it. And it might appear when you get good at this, you might think, I just shared that and now someone else shared something that looks really similar to mine. Well, you shared it first. You are the only person who can share yoga and your content the way you do. You have a unique combination of skills, expertise, experience, curiosities, and passions. And it's really important that we hear your voice and the way you deliver things, even when you see others saying the same thing. Everything I've been saying in this 5-step mini-series has likely been said in some way by someone else, but here you are, and you're listening. The people who connect with you and the things you share and the way you say it will find you. You can 100% get inspiration from other people's posts as well. If you share something similar, it's really nice to give them a shout out. If someone inspires you, it's really nice if you share their content and make it yours then. Maybe there's a yoga teacher sharing a movement or a breath that you really like and you try it out and you make it yours. Share the way you do it. And if you doubt yourself, play this part of the podcast back. And if you have a secret pep talk that you give yourself when you are afraid or not feeling so inspired to share content, oh my goodness, please leave us a voice message. So again, you go to the connectedyogateacher.com website and there's a button on the right. It would be amazing if we could play those on the podcast with your permission, of course, so that our connected yoga teachers could hear what helps you. So remember to say who you are, what you do, and share your message with us. And there is a time limit, so you can just leave multiple voice messages if you need to. Because you're here this far along in the podcast series, I hope that maybe you've looked at doing the homework for steps 1 to 4. And if you haven't, that's okay. Go back and do like a B- job. Please do not get caught up on doing a perfect job on this. Go listen to those episodes or review the notes, the show notes for them, and do the action steps. That will lead you to right where you are today. And I would love to know, how is your content creation time going? That's step 1. Give it time. Remember to keep coming back to it like you would a yoga pose that you're really working on, and it will get easier. And when you get to the place where you have some content created, when you've done that step 1, you've put it on your calendar and you've done all of the other steps, and you're working away on this content, and you know where you're sharing it and how you're going to share it with people, think of how you can now schedule it out. I am all for batching and scheduling. I do my own yo-yo dance with batching and scheduling. So just be kind and be patient with yourself. If you get to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, I've used up all of my scheduled things, that's okay. Remember to get that content creation time in. Once you have that content created, let's say you are using email. How many can you schedule ahead? So you might start with, okay, I've got one email that's going out today and one email that I'm going to schedule for next week. And how does that feel? Chances are it feels pretty amazing to be 1 week ahead. Now, is there an email that could be cut into 2, 3, or 4 emails? Are you making a big, long book of an email for your yoga students? And how can you cut that up so that you can schedule out maybe 3 or 4? I am loving the Facebook business page scheduling tool right now. That's what I've been using for pelvic health professionals. I am really impressed with how easy it is, how I can see the schedule, how I can see the posts that I have scheduled. For the connected yoga teacher side of things, we have been using Tailwind, and I have other friends who use tools like Later. But I would say, you know what? Go with the free option. I think we're getting a little bit more traction. I mean, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to have to compare with the free Facebook business tool because it's built into the software. It's not a third-party tool. And if you want to see how I actually do this, how I map out my content, I shared this in a video recently. It's a YouTube live that we did, and I went through very quickly all these 5 steps, but I also gave some visual examples. So I'll make sure to link to that in the show notes. And I'll also try and describe it here for you. So I like to use a Google Doc, and I like to see my posts as a visual in front of me so I can kind of see how my Instagram feed is going to look. And then I just go in and start to type the content that I want to do. Now, I'm constantly learning new things about creating content and connecting with my audience, and that's okay. Don't change the whole system yet. Keep these steps really very simple and figure out what works for you. Once you have these 4 to 6 emails or videos or posts, you might start to consider sharing content on another platform. For example, let's say you're creating a video and you're sharing it maybe on Facebook or Instagram each week. You batch the recording of these videos and you schedule them out, and let's say you have 6 in the bank. Could you take an image from that video and put it in an email and talk about it? Maybe give a few points about what the benefits are of this pose or this breath practice to draw attention and bring your students over to watch the video. And if you get to this point where you think, well, should I do an email or should I put this on YouTube? I would say go back to the steps. Go back especially to step 3, the where do I share this? And also be careful not to do this until your content creation time and scheduling feels like this well-oiled machine. It's like if you taught a yoga student to do this 5-minute yoga practice at home because they want to build an at-home practice, and they've got that the first week, and then the next week they show up and you give them an hour-long practice. They're probably just going to throw their hands up and give up completely. And that's what I don't want you to do with this content. I don't want you to hit that place of overwhelm. So make it very small, very, very simple and very small steps. Also, pay attention to how you write your content. So you might put it into smaller chunks like a graphic with a quote or a blog article, or you might start to compile your content into something larger like a book. The key to this is making sure that all of your content is in one place, like for instance, a Google Doc or a notebook, so that you, or as you grow in your business, and maybe you get to the point where you hire someone, that content, you can easily access it and repurpose it. I also want to remind you in this step to go ahead and repeat yourself over and over again. Email and social media is very busy, very full. People miss things all the time, so there's value in sharing your message in a new way. And there's tremendous value in just saying the exact same thing over and over again. Some people prefer a video, others love text, so figure out how you can share your message in new ways. What can you repurpose and what can you repeat? I'm really excited about, and I can't wait to see what you're creating with your content. So if you are creating things and sharing them out into the world, please tag me on Instagram, on Facebook, or leave us a voice message and tell us about how it's going. I would love to see this work in action, cheer you on, and then share your offerings with other yoga teachers and any friends that I have on social media. Today's action step or the homework is to set a date on your calendar. So look at your content creation time and work within that from step 1. And then set a reminder to look at your content in, let's say, a month, maybe 4 to 6 weeks. And see then in a month's time, just put a little reminder or a little note on your calendar that you're going to look at what you can repeat, or do you have enough content that you can start to repurpose it? And I know it is going to feel like I already said this thing, but it's not going to feel like that to your audience. So let's say you're focused on Instagram posts and you have 4 or 6 scheduled and in the bank. Imagine now recording a short video where you summarize some key points from those posts, or maybe creating an article for your website where you use an image from that Instagram post and write the article on your website. Also, if you are bumping into challenges or questions, I would love to hear from you on this. You can tag me on social media, or you can send me an email, shannon@theconnectedyogateacher.com, or leave me a voice message. See, I've repeated that many times today. If you can't tell already, I love voice messages. So you've got your homework today. It's to put a note in your calendar in a month or 6 weeks to remind yourself, oh, right, I'm going to repeat some of my content or repurpose it. Thank you to our entire team over here, Suzanne, who edits the audio, Crunch, who's our writer of articles and show notes, Sinead, who's our community support manager, Erica, who's our new VA, who is in Facebook a lot, welcoming all of you, answering questions, telling you where the share threads are. Thank you so much for being here, for doing the homework, for sharing your yoga out into the world. It is making a big difference. And come back to these steps anytime you need them. Step 1, when you create your content. Step 2, why. Step 3, where you're sharing your content. Step 4, how you're delivering it. And step 5 is your plan to share, schedule, and repurpose this amazing content. As I sign off today, I want to know what you will be doing with your week to stay connected to yourself, your yoga practice, and to your community so that you can share the yoga that lights you up.